What's up, everyone? Welcome to another Wednesday film review, and today is my favorite film review of all of the ones I've done because I'm talking about Arizona State legend, cornerback Jack Jones. I don't know how many of you know this, but I did attend the prestigious and historic Arizona State University, and Jack Jones is the best player I ever saw play there. And I was trying to push the Jack Jones Heisman narrative, but the committee wouldn't bite. But luckily, he's been balling out in the NFL just like he was at Arizona State, and I can push the Jack Jones Defensive Player of the Year narrative. Well, maybe not quite that far, but Defensive Rookie of the Year, sure. He has been balling out. So let's take a look at what makes him so successful and such a good player, not only for my Sun Devils, but now for the New England Patriots. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about his Arizona State highlights because I know that nobody cares but me, but I do want to talk about them a little bit because it makes me happy, and I want people to know why I was so excited about him coming out of school. On this play, he's got inside leverage, and the wide receiver is running a slant. Not a very good route by this receiver, and once he, not much manipulation in the stem here, and then once he breaks inside, Jack Jones just needs to get his head around and find the football. But what's really impressive here is his ability to catch this football, right? This is a difficult catch. He's kind of got to contort his body, jump. It's a little bit outside of his frame. That wide receiver, who is much bigger than he is draped all over him, but he makes that difficult grab, and then he gets his eyes behind him. He notices his pal, the safety, come into the frame here, and then as he's getting tackled before his knees hit the ground, he's able to flip it to that safety, who then is home free for the touchdown. So good technique and leverage on the route, and then great physicality at the catch point, and then the awareness to find his teammate and turn this pick into a pick six. And just really, really good stuff on this play from Jack Jones. Other highlight that I will show is against Justin Herbert and Oregon in 2019. He's at the top of your screen here against, I believe this wide receiver's name was like Johnny Johnson or something stereotypical like that. And Johnson really flies upfield, releases vertically, gets Jack Jones to flip his hips and run upfield with him. Then he plants his foot in the ground at the sticks, but Jack Jones is able to flip his hips, turn back towards the football, break on this, jump it, and make a pick. Really good hips and closing ability here, and he's a ball hawk. And those are the two traits, the ball skills and the ability to turn on a dime and transition on a dime, are really what have led to his success in the NFL so far, and that's what I'm about to show you. Before we get started on the NFL film, I just want to point out to you his measurables. He's only 5'10", 170 pounds, short arms. Not a lot of corners smaller than him out there, and he's only got average speed to go along with that. The Patriots play a ton of man coverage. The only other team that plays as much is like the Lions, and I just broke down a Lions cornerback, Jeffrey Okudah, in one of my latest videos, and Jack Jones is just not going to play anything like Okudah, right? It's not going to be jammed, presses at the line of scrimmage, and then flipping his hips and running with a guy. He just doesn't have the body type to play man coverage like that. When Jack Jones plays man coverage, it's more off, and instead of winning with his hands, he's got to win with superior footwork, all right? On this play, he is defending Allen Lazard on a dig route. As soon as Lazard changes directions at the top of this route, he plants off that inside foot, no false steps here, and transitions. He changes directions very smoothly, effortlessly, cleanly, and is able to stay perfectly in phase on that dig route. Also, watch how the Packers like to run dig routes. Watch Lazard, okay. So we got one step with the outside foot, 2, 3, and then 4. The fourth step with the outside foot, he is breaking this inside 10 yards past the initial line of scrimmage, okay? That's what they like to do. 4 steps, 10 yards, cut inside. All right, so knowing that, watch this play later against Romeo Doubs. Now, Doubs is not targeted on this play, but watch Jones. He's totally ready to jump that if he was to be targeted. Now, how does he know that that's coming? Why is that a bet that he is willing to take? All right, watch Doubs' footwork here. 1 step with the outside foot, 2, 3, and then on that 4th one, he starts to change direction. He starts to lean inside at 10 yards past the line of scrimmage. At the same time, Aaron is winding up to pass. Jones recognizes this all instantly, and he drives off that leg, wastes no time, and instantly transitions, changes directions, and he would be right there to jump this and pick this off if this was a pass to Dobbs. But it's not. It's a pass to Christian Watson, which Christian Watson does not do the best job of tracking, and it falls incomplete. Because he doesn't have the body type to just press guys at the line of scrimmage, he has to play off. And because he has to play off, that leaves himself susceptible to these curl routes, to these out routes. So he really has to be good at reading these wide receivers' keys, and he really has to be clean with his footwork to drive on those short breaking routes, so they can't just dink and dunk on him all day. And it's really cool to watch just how good he is at doing that. Here's some reps of him defending in out route, and the way the Packers run these, and I think most teams run these, is second inside foot, watch it. So first step, second step, plant, and break outside, all right, at about 5 yards. And as soon as that is happening, 1, 2, you see Jones instantly reacting to it. He's already driving on this ball to Lazard. He's not quite fast enough to get there this time, but you see the hands and how active they are, reaching around, trying to dislodge the ball, really making this difficult for Lazard, who makes a nice catch here. Jones then keeps his balance after failing to break this up, gets after him again, and then tries to rip the ball out and strip it away from Lazard. So even though he gets beat here, still at least making it very difficult on Lazard here, more difficult than I think most corners might. And then right before halftime, Lazard runs another out route. It's not quite the same timing and footwork this time. He's just supposed to get to the sticks, which is a little bit farther out this time, and then break. And then as soon as he plants that foot and he looks like he's cutting inside, there's Jack Jones mirroring the footwork perfectly, reacting to that immediately, no false steps, driving off that foot, breaking on this ball, getting his eyes around, making a nice catch behind him, and then taking this to the house. A pick six on Rodgers, which is only like the fourth time that has ever happened to Aaron Rodgers in his whole career. I think the broadcast angle did a great job showing just how fast Jack Jones is at transitioning between backpedaling and driving. It's a pretty crazy ability that he's got. Just doesn't really look like a rookie out there. Again, he's playing off-man coverage on Romeo Doubs here, and pretty quick off the line of scrimmage, he flips his hips towards the sideline. Now, Doubs is going to take a step that makes it look like he's running a post route. That's where his eyes are. That's where the step is going. And what he's trying to do is get Jack Jones, who really kind of reacts quickly to those like subtle changes in body movement, to maybe flip his hips around this way. And then Doubs is going to break back outside. But this time, Jack Jones doesn't do it. He just keeps running on his path. And then Doubs cuts this outside, and Jones is right there to run with him, and he's blanketed. Kind of a similar deal here on the other side of the field now, a little bit inverted. It seems like Doubs is going to run a corner, but then he cuts it upfield, all right? And once again, he's playing off man, gets into his back pedal, flips his hips toward the sideline, right as Doubs tries to break this towards the sideline. But then Doubs gets in his blind spot, cuts this upfield, but he doesn't panic or anything like that. He doesn't overrun this. He just flips his hips very smoothly, gets his head around, locates the ball, tracks it, and is in a better position to catch this than even Doubs is. So just very, very high-level great stuff in this Packers game from him. Now, that's not to say he was absolutely perfect in this game. Here he's playing on Christian Watson, a little bit closer to the line of scrimmage. He's got to jam Watson with both hands here, and he doesn't really do a great job of slowing him down. Watson just runs right through him, and then Watson's one of the fastest receivers in the league. Jones doesn't have that kind of long speed, and Watson is able to create a couple yards of separation on Jones on this play if Rodgers was to take that shot, but instead he delivers a different kind of dime to Randall Cobb. And then, of course, flying downhill as a corner all the time can get you in trouble. I'm not quite sure what he saw here, but right off the bat, he starts going downhill at Allen Lazard here, and Lazard's running vertically, and Lazard just runs right past him, all right? He's wide open. This was a potential game winner on Jack Jones on this play right here. Now, Rodgers didn't see Lazard there, but Jack Jones certainly had a scare, all right? And then he was probably thinking, well, I don't want a deep touchdown on me late in the fourth quarter of this close game. So on the next drive, I think this is, Lazard is running a little bit of a double move. Now he's releasing vertically. Jones totally flips his hips and starts running up the field. Lazard settles down, and then Jones slips and it's a catch for Lazard. So maybe, that's not typical of what you'd see from Jack Jones given the rest of this game. He was so good at recognizing what was happening and driving on plays where guys would settle down like this. But after getting beat that one time, he was like, oh no, I'm running vertically here. And he got beat there. And of course, when you are literally in the first percentile for cornerback weight, you're not going to be the greatest tackler on this play. Nice job triggering downfield and recognizing the screen, but then Dobbs just drags him about 10 yards. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier. At the beginning of this game, there was another screen to Dobbs, and Allen Lazard was going out to block Jones in space. Jones recognizes the screen, comes downhill, and then literally dips his shoulder and bends like an edge rusher around Lazard, executes this speed turn, keeps his balance, pops back up, forces and recovers a fumble, and that was another takeaway he had in this game that was really, really special. So definitely more good than bad in this game, but he is just a tiny corner, something to keep in mind. There are going to be times around the line of scrimmage where he gets run over or stiff-armed or something like that. It's just the way it's going to be. Not everybody can be good at everything. I'm not going to break down the entire Lions game, but he did keep his hot streak alive with an amazing interception, and this one was in zone coverage, and there weren't many zone coverage in this highlights in the Packers game, so I'll show this one. Initially, it kind of looks like a single high look, but they rotate to quarters, so 4 guys deep. Initially, this wide receiver is just running up the seam, and I think Goff thinks that he is going to be bracketed by both Jones and this safety. And then you have got TJ Hawkinson running this like wheel and this linebacker going out to meet him. So Goff pivots, finds Hawkinson, and is going to take that shot. But Jones is reading Goff's eyes. He abandons the seam, runs towards Hawkinson, and he's a small dude, but he can get up. He's got some hops. So TJ Hawkinson is 6'5". That's 7 inches taller than Jack Jones is. But you see them both rise up. And Jack Jones is the one who gets up and high points this football even more so than TJ Hawkinson. And then he comes down, and 1 foot down, you see him looking at his feet here to make sure that he gets 1 foot down and then taps that second one. So great athleticism, recognition, body control to get this done. He's small, but outside of that, man, I think he's got everything you could want in a corner. And right now, he's like PFF's number 1 graded corner. I think it's kind of crazy to say that he's been like better than Surtain this year, but certainly a good sign. And I think everybody's starting to see what I saw all those years when he was at Arizona State. So I'm happy for my guy, Jack Jones. He fell a little bit because not only is he small, but he had some off-the-field issues and suspensions and whatnot. So hopefully he can stay out of trouble and keep balling out for the Patriots for the next decade or so. He's awesome. That was my film review. Thank you all so much for watching. Vote Jack Jones to the Pro Bowl. He's Defensive Rookie of the Year thus far, I think. And yeah, I'll see you next week with another film review. It'll probably be just Jack Jones again because I love talking about the guy. See you then.